I think episode 3 was the best. It's kind of crazy. Was the best because it didn't feature Joel and Ellie. I've heard a lot of people say it's also the greatest episode of television ever put on TV.
No,
I definitely don't agree with that.
No.
There's so many episodes of Breaking Bad.
What the fuck?
So many episodes of Better Call Saul.
Yes. No.
Pizza time.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, Alex, I thought, I did say on air that we were going to try a different intro. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I just keep coming back to the same one, though. I think we had something. I think I got a little preemptive there.
Yeah, you said. I mean, you've said a lot of things. We're gonna have. I've said a lot of things. We're gonna do a cooking show.
Bro, you're gonna put me on blast. God
we're
damn.
Gonna do this, that, the other thing. Hey, but it's okay. We're here. We're better than ever. We're getting bigger and bigger. Let's just keep doing it. Let's keep going. Pizza time forever. Intro, simple intro.
Pizza time forever, yo.
I'm not doing that. Get the fuck out of here.
Why not?
Because I'm not.
I know, it's fine.
Absolutely not.
Okay, fine. How about the other one? The Kamehameha.
Yeah, I'm Hispanic, sure.
Yeah. That's out on
I rewatched it. My opinion has dropped.
Did you watch? No shit, really?
Yeah, dropped quite a bit. Yeah.
We're talking about Black Panther.
That was only my second time watching it. Yes.
Okay, so I watched it twice already. The second time I liked it just as much. I didn't enjoy it more, but
yeah, I dropped a little bit on Wakanda Forever.
It always drops. It drops a little bit every time in the third act, where I'm like, I could probably skip all this. This is all this at the end.
Yeah, it feels so rushed.
Skip that.
Ironheart's suit is so bad.
Yeah, it looks like a freaking BMW energy efficient car.
It looks like the fucking Power Rangers suits. Like, what are we doing?
It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't like the suit so far. I mean, again, it's just too glossy. It
is glossy. I think it's the render. I still think it's the render. But also, it does look like a freaking like a car turned into like she took a BMW car.
Yeah, like a transformer.
Like a transformer. It looks kind of ridiculous. Yeah. But everything else, I still love. I
like it all the way until the
third act.
The whole CIA part with Ross and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I was like, why the fuck is this in this movie? It's out of this movie.
I like now that I've seen them. I like.
Man, I don't need them.
We don't need them. We don't need them.
What's it for?
Just nothing really. You're right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So the final battle, Shuri having, I need some more convincing as Shuri is Black Panther. I've really come down.
I'm like, no, let's not have this be a thing, please.
Yeah. The hype's gotten to me. Like Shuri looks like a fucking spaghetti noodle out there. So,
spaghetti noodle.
She's so skinny. She looks like she could just be snapped like a fucking spaghetti noodle, dude.
Yeah. She looks like the bottom of a Pringles can when you think that you're gonna get a full Pringle and then you get like only half of it and you're like, oh
yeah, this is so thin and bumming. Yeah.
She should have passed it on. She should have passed it on to M'Baku. That'd have been a nicer ending. She should have realized I'm not made for this. And I'm gonna give it to the big gorilla guy who can fucking
would be the
probably slap Thanos in the face.
Like the suit would just look weird. It would just look weird. No way it would look like
I would be down.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
I would be down with a humongo, just fucking big Black Panther. Come on, that'd be so dope.
I don't think it would have worked, man. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, what I did unsequestered Black Panther Wakanda Forever talk at the top here, only on Pizza Time, but that's out on streaming. Hey, that's
Disney Plus.
Check it out and Disney Plus. But I quit my Disney Plus account,
so you haven't watched it again.
Well,
I'll give you my login. You can.
I'll buy it. Watch it. I'll just buy it. It's fine. I have Voodoo points. Yeah.
Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah.
For now.
All right. On to the actual piece of news that we wanted to talk about first up today.
Big news.
DC news slate. Biggest news. Finally.
It's here, Ed. It's here.
It's here, but is it all the thing that we really wanted to hear all the way? Are we still a little confused? I guess we'll get into that in a second. Your face is telling me a lot.
Yeah.
Unless you just really need a fart.
I have opinions. No, I have opinions. I've got some serious opinions on it, my man.
Well, there's two other things we want to talk about that I'm sure you'll also have some serious opinions on. We surprisingly haven't talked about The Last of Us, but we were on episode 4 this week, and so we're going to review a little bit of the first 3 episodes, and there's a lot to say there, I'm sure.
Yes.
And then War.
Yes.
Our third Indian movie. I never want to call it Bollywood movie anymore because I feel like I'm going to get slapped in the face by some random people who know better than me.
And then like some of our comments said RRR is Tollywood. Because that
Tollywood.
But this isn't Tollywood. I think we should just call it Indian cinema.
I think it's Hindi. I'm just going to call it Indian cinema. Yeah. Yes. Because I don't know enough about either of those languages or the dialects. Umbrella,
yeah. Maybe like a pro-Indian cinema reviewer can come on here and school us a little bit.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, we should get somebody. Amazing. I feel like we don't know anybody though. We know like a lot of horror aficionados, but we don't know a lot of like.
Yeah, we know a ton of horror. Jesus. Yeah. That's a good point. Everybody we know loves horror.
If anyone knows like someone who's into Indian film, let us know. Yeah, come on and we'll teach us, school us on this new venture that we're on. But War, so it's actually an old movie. It's not. It's came out in what 2018, 2019. So it's still a little new, but it's within that universe of Pathan. If you haven't seen our review, go watch that. But yeah, it's the next venture in that. So that'll be our final review today. And so before that, let's start off with some news. The big news: the DC new is coming.
It is
now retitled just DCU. It's just DCU, it's not DCEU. It's just DCU, encompassing all things DC and entertainment. Just because. Because without it, the DCU just felt a little small and just not great.
Because it's not confusing enough already.
It's not confusing enough already. But so as promised, from what we heard, James Gunn came on video and basically dropped the first chapter of the first part. Is that right? There's like, or the first part of the first chapter?
I think it's just the first chapter. We can call it all the first chapter. And then whatever is after this would be chapter 2.
Okay, cool.
So the book of the DCU, that's what we'll call it.
Yeah, and I'm glad they stayed away from phasing. So it's chapters now, I guess. And this first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. But not only did he mention this chapter 1, he also gave a little bit of a vague rundown of an acknowledgement of the next still 4 movies that are in basically post-production and ready to release right before.
It is 4 movies this year from DC.
Yeah, and so before we get into the film projects that is within the DC chapter 1, which he called Gods and Monsters, which I thought was cool. It's actually a very Zack Snyder thing to have done that, like chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. I was actually kind of surprised. It was very Zack Snyder. But so he mentions he acknowledges the upcoming slate: Shazam 2, The Flash, which he calls one of the best movies of all time, apparently, or superhero movies of all time. Which I'm like,
I cannot anymore. Let's go.
Beetleborg, Blue.
No, get it right. Come on. The kids from El Paso, Texas, get it right. And
Blue Beetle, and Aquaman 2. Yeah. So what was interesting here was that if you listen very closely to what he says, he uses very distinct words about connection and jumping off, building off. So, but he never actually says that it's kind of part of the DCU, but it is kind of. So I wanted to get your take on what you thought of what his acknowledgement of those films first. And do you feel like these movies are directly connected, or is he giving a little bit of a buffer to see how they perform? And maybe if people still seem interested, he can add the Momoas and this Flash into the DCU official.
So first off, you can very much tell that James Gunn loves himself very much. It's very clear to tell the way he spoke about the movies, the way he spoke. He's on top of
the world right now, man. His redemption story. Come on,
he's done quite some good things, but like, has he ever taken a main character like Superman and made it a success? He's really good at taking obscure characters and making you care about them, but a main character. I don't know. I'm a little.
That's a fantastic point. Yeah, you don't know, not necessarily.
You don't know, but
he has the chops. You can agree with that.
He has the chops. But it all just came off as like, I love myself. Here it is. But anyway, let's get back to your point.
I agree.
Your question. Okay. So yeah, he was very careful about what this all meant, and then he said in The Flash that it resets everything, but he actually re-clarified because someone on Twitter asked him, hey, who's sticking around? So clearly Viola Davis, she gets her own show, spoiler alert, in Waller. But he says, the Flash resets many things, not all things. And some characters remain, some do not. So for me, again, we go back to my first point about this. They're pussyfooting this. They're basically saying, hey, go watch these movies because it matters. But remember, he said something very, very specific about the Superman movie. The Superman movie called Superman Legacy, it launches the new DCU. While the Flash may reset it, this launches it. So I think that like I think Ezra's gone. I do think Momoa's gone as Aquaman, and I think he's back as Lobo. And I think he's getting his, they're very careful to say these movies matter. Go watch them. That was what I got from it. Which, I mean, how do I feel about it? I personally, I hate it. I thought that was just ridiculous. Like, I would have waited to make this announcement. I don't know. This whole DCU thing feels dead on arrival to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
After that announcement, so it did not give you less hope.
I just I don't know, man. Like, we're going to have 2 concurrent Batman franchises going at the same time. It's kind of weird.
Speaking of that, he did specify now that there will be an Elseworlds, right?
Right.
Elseworlds, DC Elseworlds.
Right, DC Elseworlds.
Something that is a offshoot that is not part of the DCU main continuum, timeline continuum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the thing. We got so the Batman, the Brave and the Bold, right? I think that's a very popular comic book storyline. It's about Bruce Wayne and his son Damian Wayne. Basically, Damian's trying to kill him. Damian's a little asshole, and I think that's really cool. But we're most certainly going to get a Joker in that. We have Todd Phillips' Joker, and we already have Barry Keoghan's Joker and Matt Reeves. We're going to have 3 Jokers at one point. Like, audiences are going to be cool with that.
I don't know.
I don't know. So it seems a little weird.
They weren't opposed to it. I'll say that.
It wasn't so much the movies that like left me like meh. It was actually the TV shows. Like,
okay, let's name off the film projects and TV projects before getting into that way people have a context for it. Right. So, starting with the film projects, this is the official Gods. What's it called? Gods and Monsters Chapter 1. These are the announced projects. He did say that there could be more. There could be more, but these are the ones that he can announce now.
Talk about,
yeah. So the film projects that are coming up: Superman Legacy up to bat first, which is not a origin story. And it will follow that comic line. Again, I don't know anything about these comics, so don't ask me about them, but maybe you do. But Superman Legacy is based on one, and he has written half of it. So he's already through there. Will he direct it is the big question.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I hope not, but we'll see. Then the next up is the Authority, another band of DC heroes. I've never heard of this. I don't know what it is. It sounds interesting, but it's called The Authority. Go research it if you haven't heard of it. The Brave and the Bold. So this is the Batman, the Brave and the Bold. I guess it's just called The Brave and the Bold, though.
Yeah, the comic line was called The Brave.
It's just The Brave and the Bold. Okay, so not Batman, The Brave and the Bold. So The Brave and the Bold, as you already said, is based on. It's going to follow Batman and his son, and that one I'm really excited for. That one I think that's the most Batman, interesting,
right? Yeah,
it's something most interesting. Well, him and being like a father, right? That you've never seen, and I'm like, okay. That's cool.
And Damian Wayne is a fantastic character in the comics.
Okay.
Like I said, he's a little shit. He's a fucking
We've been wanting a Robin, on-screen Robin, ever since Chris O'Donnell. Okay. We are in dire need.
We deserve a Robin.
Of a on-screen Robin.
And I hope this Brave and the Bold introduces the other Robins.
Sure.
I think Brave and the Bold is a storyline, and then there's a storyline where Batman gets hurt really bad, and Dick Grayson steps into the Batman uniform and pairs with Damian Wayne to figure out who hurt him that bad. I think something like that.
Cool. I'm down. There's a whole Bat family apparently that they'll
whole Bat family. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. It's exciting.
Me too. Yeah. All right, moving on. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Great. I don't know if I've ever cared about Supergirl, but
sure. I read a little bit about it. I think the comic book was actually one of the newer comic books that was popular, because a lot of newer comic books have not been popular with fans. They've been like, meh, this sucks. I think this one was one of the more popular ones. And she's in a cosmic journey. She's not on Earth. She's out doing her thing. That's like James Gunn's special. So
Sounds like a Marvel character that we've explored before and wasn't great. Not that I'm saying this will be like that, but we'll see.
Maybe.
Hopefully. Hey, I'll say this. DC has had a very successful women-centric superhero franchise.
Yeah, women's characters, they've gotten better.
They've gotten better, clearly, except for that second one. Last one, Swamp Thing, which a lot of people were very excited, and we're surprised to hear, and everyone's very excited. I am too. Swamp Thing's always been like there, and sounds cool.
Yeah, I think the CW did a TV show, not the CW. It was a DC Plus or whatever. They used to have an app. They tried to launch their own streaming service for HBO Max, and they did a Swamp Thing series, and you can watch on HBO Max now. The Swamp Thing series is actually pretty good. It ends abruptly because they just pulled production.
They were just like,
yeah, but it was actually pretty good. Really, so I think it's an interesting character, and yeah, I'm excited to see that.
Okay, yeah. Again, none of these had any specifics about casting or anything like that. So it's just the plain idea. So so those are the film projects coming up. Some of the television things, even more niche. I was like, most of these, I'm like, what is this? I don't know what the hell this is. Starting with Creature Commandos.
Animated TV show. That'll be
animated Creature Commandos. Again, another ragtag seemingly team of superheroes of different shapes and sizes, and he's already written all of the episodes. So that's probably going to be onto production very, very soon.
Yeah, it's I'm sure it's coming very soon.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like, I wrote them all. I'm like, Jesus Christ, in what time? Like, what time have you had to write a freaking animated series? Jesus Christ.
One of the people who was part of Creature Commandos, Weasel.
Oh, he's in it?
Yes. From the Suicide Squad? Yeah, he survived, yeah.
Yeah, I forget about that.
But it's animated, keep going.
Okay. Then we have Waller. This one took me by surprise. I was like, I don't know. Like, Waller was supposed to sort of be the, what do you call it? Why am I forgetting his name? Samuel L. Jackson. She was supposed to be Nick Fury sort of this of the DC. Yeah. I liked her performance. I don't know if I love the character though. And so it's interesting. It's interesting that there's a whole show based on her that will feature Peacemaker. Well, yeah, that and people from Peacemaker apparently.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. We're starting to get into where I'm having some issues with this. Keep going.
Right. But anyway, we'll see. There's a character already from the original DC that is obviously for sure coming back.
So before we continue, it clearly seems that he's keeping his characters. So his wife character that nobody knows, Waller, Peacemaker, he's basically he's been on record, he loves Harley Quinn and Margot Robbie's performance. All those characters are going to stay. Now, I don't think any of the heroes are going to stay, but it clearly seems he's keeping the characters that he's already worked with and are close to his heart. So he's already cheating the rules. He's like, oh, well, I'm keeping the characters I want, but fuck the rest of them.
Well, this is where I'm starting to feel like, again, what I want things. I miss the simpler times, even in MCU. I really do miss the simpler times, and I'm just scared that they're not going to really come up with a great explanation for why we see certain people and we don't. But all I can hope for is that they do find a very creative way to explain that off. Otherwise, I'm going to be like, I don't know. There's already going to be somewhat of a tarnish. It maybe a feeling of dead away.
I'm telling you, DOA. I think it's DOA, man. Like, I'm just like, I don't understand the keeping the characters that are like Waller. Maybe fans can tell us. Maybe Amanda Waller has this really good comic arc and people love her. But from everything I've seen, she's been a pretty one note. This is the character. That's it. Yeah. So like, what do we do?
I guess we'll open up. Maybe we'll get her backstory. And
maybe, but do we care about a backstory for Waller?
Look, not really. Not now. But I guess we'll.
Yeah. So
he seemed the most excited for that show.
Yes.
Like in turn, like you could just see him like really light up. He was like, okay, I'm like really excited for what we're about to see. So okay. Yeah. I mean,
so Well, there's a couple more shows. Why don't you finish first?
Yeah. So Booster Gold. This one I'm actually the most excited for because I like the synopsis of the character.
So, I have a hot take. I guarantee you right now. He's already said casting's well underway. I already know who it is.
Who?
It's Chris Pratt.
Really?
It's Chris Pratt. It's got to be. I'm saying I'm putting it into words.
Why?
Right
Why?
Chris Pratt is Booster Gold. He's already said most of those guys are going to come over from MCU. Booster Gold is a hilarious character. Like, he's a joke. So he steals a bunch of tech, travels back in time, and becomes a superhero. He's funny. He's self-deprecating. It's perfect for Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt will be Booster Gold. I'm calling it. I think that's it, dude. I really do think I'll clip this. I'll put it on TikTok and Instagram, all our stupid social shit, because I think Chris Pratt is Booster Gold.
Okay. I would hate that, but okay.
Why would you hate that? Are you on the Chris Pratt hate train?
No, I don't hate Chris Pratt. I think I like him. Fine, just fine. I'm kind of tired of seeing him a little bit, and I don't know, man. Like, he's just about to get off his like most iconic role as Peter Quill, and then just to see him back as a superhero again so quickly. I mean, and if he's not like a different character, I swear to God, like, I don't know, be more creative. That's all I'm saying. Like, I mean, can we get a little bit more creative? But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know the character, to be honest with you. But as you said, he's self-deprecating. He's funny. I don't know. I don't know.
I think you'll discover, like,
what does he even look like? Is he a white dude? Booster Gold sounds like a white dude.
He's a white dude with blonde hair.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's got to be Chris Pratt. I think it is, because this is the only one that he's already said casting's underway.
Oh my God, this guy has gold hair.
Yeah,
look at this motherfucker.
Like, and he's a funny, ridiculous character from the future. Comes back in time, uses tech from the future to be a superhero in the present.
Because he's like he tarnished his reputation or something like that, right? Like, he's not famous. Yes. He's a loser. Yeah, I like that. I love that. I love that synopsis.
I am excited about Booster Gold, but I do think it's going to be Chris Pratt, man.
Okay. He definitely doesn't look like Chris Pratt, but okay, yes, we'll see. I don't know. Let me quick look. I mean, he looks kind of like Cyclops, to be honest with you, like as the character. He just
James Marsden, that guy.
No. I'm saying he looks like Cyclops, like the X-Men
like the
character. Yeah, he just reminds me of Summers a lot in his look.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll have to think about it, but he looks like someone, maybe like someone from the Game of Thrones world could like play him or something like that.
No more Game of Thrones actors.
Well, I am tired of that. I'm just saying it's like HBO. I'm like, that's probably.
We'll get to that in a minute.
I'm gonna call Pedro Pascal, bro.
No, Pedro Pascal is fantastic. I got no problem with him, but I got another problem with another HBO actor.
I'm saying if he would. No, I'm saying if he would. Maybe he's Booster Gold. I don't know. He could.
I mean, hey, if you want to, hey, we're gonna race swap. I'm sure. Did it once already?
This person will have to have gold hair. I think maybe only white people can pull off gold hair.
No, doesn't Bad Bunny have like white hair?
I don't fucking know, man. Who's Bad Bunny? All right. Lanterns is the next project. This one, I'm sure everyone was like, "Holy crap, that's awesome!"
Yeah, the tagline was pretty cool.
The tagline was cool. So it's apparently a dark mystery movie, sort of on the side of detective. Yeah. And because you have two lanterns that they'll follow, which are the two main ones, Hal Jordan and what's the name of the other one? Jon Stewart. So that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and
I love that idea.
They're like the police of Earth. They're gonna police Earth and figure out a mystery. Look, okay, I know I was down on the TV shows for the first 3 or 2 that you mentioned. This one's cool.
I agree. I think I'm most excited for Booster Gold and Lanterns for sure. Yeah. Those by premise sound awesome. So very, very excited for that. And we've been dying for a Lantern movie, right, for like a while. So everyone just ready. And then you get 2 at the same time. So there you go. Yeah. The casting on that is going to have to be pretty
epic, I think.
Pretty spot on.
I honestly,
you said the dynamic has to work really well.
You need to get 2 big guys to do it. I don't think you can get 2 nobodies to do that. Like I would love to see who's the guy from Top Gun Maverick. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell as Jon Stewart.
Oh, dude, Glenn Powell's Booster Gold might fucking work, man, because he definitely looks like that dude.
Gold.
I don't know if he's a comic. He's got some like comedic. Like he was kind of funny in that movie. Like he had some. Ooh, Booster Gold. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, shit. I'll clip that too. We'll see.
It's a good one.
Let's see if it's my prediction of Chris Pratt or Glenn Powell. But yeah, no, I think I think you got to get two big stars in Lanterns to make it.
I would agree. Yeah. Jonathan Majors in the DCU.
He's not. He ain't got the time. There's no way.
That dude. Come on, bro. Jonathan Majors in a True Detective style.
I mean, that'd be really dope. But I can't imagine he has the time.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, this might be early enough in production. We'll see.
Yeah, that's true. You know,
and also at the same time, like, you know, we'll see what happens in Creed 3, but his career is still, I think, like he hasn't had that movie yet, movie, but he's building up pretty quickly. So let's see.
We see Ant-Man on Monday, so maybe
we do.
Maybe it's
I'm most excited to see his performance. That's like the only thing I'm excited
for. Launches him. And
I don't know.
I'm very worried about that movie, but let's keep going.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's for another day.
All right, the last thing, television. Paradise Lost, which is going to center around the Themyscira. No, Amazonians in Themyscira. Yeah.
Who gives
I don't give a shit about this.
Look, and I don't mean this in the negative way, but why do I care about Themyscira without Wonder Woman?
Yeah, exactly, right.
Like, you have your big three. Just give me the big three. You did it with Batman and Superman already. Why? Unless she's part of the show, but they basically said she's not. So
one thing I'm surprised about is they didn't mention Wonder Woman at all.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's weird, right?
In any of the film project, like there's no Wonder Woman at all.
Supergirl and Swamp Thing get a movie, but no Wonder Woman.
Weird.
Yeah, weird, James. Weird.
So that's been so that we went through all that. So that's everything that's coming your way. You know, well, let's see. It's a lot of projects. I think this is gonna spread out over the next 3 or 4 years or so.
I think 4 years
25?
starting in 2025.
Oh, starting in 2025. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. But like over the next, not from now, but when it starts, 3 or 4 years.
Production on some of them will get going pretty soon. But he said we don't really start anything until 2025. So I wanted to ask you, do you think it's a mistake to have nothing in 2024? Because at this moment, there's no DC slates. There's nothing slated for DC in 2024.
No, because we're about to get fucking 4 DC movies that we have no idea how we're going to feel about. And again, The Flash is apparently going to reset. And especially with all the shit that's just been going on, I could use a break from DC as well. I'd like to see them come, like, you know, get a lull, use the lull as momentum to just like you know, get us all excited again back when we're in 2025. Well, they're gonna start talking about it still, you know, they're gonna talk about it throughout 2024, so we're not gonna really lose news. But yeah, like finally getting our eyes on something, I could use a break. And if the first thing that we have is Superman Legacy, sure, I'm happy about that. Yeah, no one's clamoring for DC.
Yeah, I think so.
No one does.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think that like the year break is actually a smart thing, because like this will give, which leads me into more believing that no one's coming back from the DCEU. That this is the full reset people need. People can just go away from their brains, and I'm sure Joker 3 or Joker whatever 2, Todd Phillips' Joker Folie à Deux is next year in 2024, right? And then I would guess Batman is also in 2024. So they'll put the Elseworld project out, and this will give time for people to kind of palate cleanse from the DCEU and then launch your DCU strong in 2025. That's my opinion on that. Superman Legacy won't be an origin story, but it'll deal with Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. I'm gonna go on a really, really hot take here. That sounds a lot like Man of Steel.
I know. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, that sounds exactly like what Man of Steel is about.
Doesn't it? I don't get it. Like, I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe it'll be different. But you know, he said he wanted to be Superman.
That's the most interesting story, and I still feel like no one's really done it justice. So
yeah, I agree.
The upside to that is that no one's really figured that out. So, but yeah,
that's hard.
It is hard. Apparently, I really thought we had something with Man of Steel, but apparently not. So you know,
I want to correct myself really quick. The Batman Part 2 actually won't be out till October 3rd of 2025.
Okay.
So not next year. So only thing in next year is Joker Folie à Deux. Sorry, it's a hard thing to say quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we have that, but again, that's not part of the DCU anyway. So, or it's Elseworlds, whatever.
Yeah, it's DC Elseworlds. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. You know, I mean, we can keep talking about it, but I think like I said, it's will 2 Batmans and 3 concurrent Jokers work at the same time? You know, I don't know. Will audiences be like, well, wait a minute, this is too much? It also feels like they're just kind of letting James Gunn do whatever the hell he wants with no supervision.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because no one at WB obviously knew what the fuck they were doing, so they just wanted someone to come in and be like, "Yeah, go ahead, just fucking take it. Go ahead. We don't want to deal with this anymore. We don't want to. We're crying. I'm crying every night because of everything that's happening."
Isn't Zaslav from like Discovery? So I bet he doesn't want anything to do with all this entertainment.
No,
it couldn't be a mistake to.
That's why they got 2 motherfuckers helming this shit, because if anything happens,
they let Kevin Feige do whatever he wants, and so far, Phase 4 has not been the smash hit that I think people expect.
Here's the thing, but hold up, but again, I don't. Part of that is obviously Kevin Feige's fault because he is the leader, but it's much more. It's not because of his. It's not because of his taste. It's because he's forced to do a lot of these things. I've said this before, but it's, you know,
dude, his taste. I think he's made some mistakes casting. I don't think America Chavez was the right cast. I think they got that casting wrong.
Do you think so? As the actress.
I think she lacks a lot of charisma. I've never seen her in anything else. I don't know if she's like, I don't know.
I think the writing's the bigger problem. And for me, the writing has been the bigger problem.
Yeah, you're right.
The casting has been pretty solid, but the writing's just been terrible.
All right, let's go back to DC. Finish it up.
Well, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, so that's everything coming forward. At the end of the day, yeah, my hopes weren't lifted.
Exactly.
I was just like, cool, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it happens.
Left me with more questions than answers. The Flash, we will apparently be getting our first trailer next week during the Super Bowl, or like, I guess, second trailer. I guess it's now time to start marketing that. We'll see. Is it the greatest?
I think
better damn well be the greatest superhero movie I've ever seen, like Dark Knight level.
Put it this way: everything happening with that movie, like with Ezra and just like the darkness that has followed that. For James Gunn to come out and say, and he's not the first one, but he's now the head, saying that it's one of the best superhero movies ever made. Come on, man. Like, really?
I don't know.
If it sucks ass, you're gonna lie straight to people's faces about this movie. I mean, I'm excited for it because it seems true. But it seems true.
Maybe it seems true. Again,
it sounds like an amazing film. Because why else push for it? Especially what happened with Ezra, they'd be like, just pull that fucking plug. Like, hell no. No.
I've never been a fan of Ezra Miller as the Flash. I just don't think he fits the Flash. I know almost everybody fucking disagrees with me. Maybe not you, but a lot of people disagree with me when it comes to Ezra Miller. I never liked him as a Flash. I don't like the take on the character. I would like something different. But hey, yeah, maybe this movie is as good as they say it is. We'll go see it, but like,
I can only hope.
I'm at this moment in time, I'm expecting the Dark Knight level of good.
Like, it better be. You're right. It has to be in like top 10, top 5. It has
to be that good.
Top 10, the best DC movie ever released. Because not a high bar.
Justify all the bullshit. Like, again, and there's a lot of people. A lot of people have gone out on a limb protecting him, and even our fans will get comments saying, "Oh, what do you do wasn't that bad?" But it's like, okay, but like,
but again, a lot of people have come out to say that it is an incredible film. It is like, to a lot of people, it's one of the best films ever. Could it be a complete and utter just biggest push to get over the Ezra Miller case? Maybe, but they could have easily just said fuck this movie and just been like, yeah, we get it. But
look, you say it's the greatest movie ever, but we've read the budget's $250 million. That they're $250 million in the hole. Right. WB needs this movie to be a massive success because they've lost so much money with all the mergers and shit. So I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying to call it one of the best superhero movies ever made is like you could have easily just said like it's incredible. It's the best DC film ever made. It's like just a little bit, just go down the rung a little bit, and that'd have been fine. But to call it one of the best ever, I mean, I don't know. That's where I'm like, woo, that I'm okay. I'm starting to want to believe it just because you're hanging your flag pretty high on that one. So we'll see.
I mean, hey, we'll find out, man.
We'll find out. I'm excited for it.
Move on. Let's talk about other stuff now. That's it.
Yeah, that's enough of DC. It's a lot of uncertainty to talk about for 30 minutes. All right. Let's move on to something a little bit more interesting that I know that we can agree upon in at least most things. Let's talk a little bit about The Last of Us, the TV show on HBO Max. If you haven't watched it, I would suggest you do because it's like the biggest TV show in January, at least. But that being said, let's talk about the first 3 eps. Sure. I overall, I've been just my happiness and appreciation have largely just with every episode has been being fulfilled, and my nervousness keeps getting just a little bit more and more quelled because I've been loving what I've been seeing. I think it is probably the best so far, the best game adaptation into TV. But again, not a high bar.
No, that's not a limb to go out on.
Yeah. And so, right. But I've been loving what I'm seeing, especially the last episode really solidified a lot of hope for myself for the rest of the season. We're about a third of the way through. There's 9 episodes, but I've been liking what I'm seeing. What say you? Have you been liking the last one so far?
I've been liking what I've seen as well. I think it's been, like you said, it's probably the greatest video game adaptation ever so far. I mean, who knows as it goes down the road. And I mean, we all have our feelings about part 2, people who've played part 2. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think it's been overall really, really great to watch. Episode 3 kind of like really changed everything up in terms of like versus the first 2 episodes. It gave us a different story. And I think episode 3 was the best. It's kind of crazy, was the best because it didn't feature Joel and Ellie,
ironically enough. Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Weird. Isn't that weird?
But you know what? You know why that's not weird though? You know why that's not weird? What? Because there was no expectation for what we were seeing.
You're right.
We understood, this is not the game.
Right.
The only hill they had to climb at that point was tell a good story that we want to tell for this particular segment, and that's it. And they did. That's why that's not that weird, because they actually went off the path and made something better. Riskier, yes, because obviously it doesn't follow the show, the game at all. But the fact that they did and then just stuck to its guns for that whole thing,
it really stuck
was probably why. But
yeah, man, that episode was so heartbreaking. I've seen a lot of people say it's like it was like an hour and 15-minute version of the beginning of Up, which is like pretty accurate, actually. It's like weirdly accurate. You kind of watch this love story unfold between Bill and Frank, and it's like it's like an hour and 15. It's like an hour and 15 long episode of Up.
That's not what I was expecting. Yeah, you're not.
When you boil it down to its simplest things.
Yeah, sure.
Like
okay, I can see that.
I've heard a lot of people say it's also the greatest episode of television ever put on TV.
No.
I definitely don't agree with that.
No.
So many episodes of Breaking Bad.
What the fuck?
So many episodes of Better Call Saul.
Yes. No.
I've seen a lot of people say this is the greatest television show of all time. A lot, like IGN pushed that, and I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, well, that's IGN. And
the first 3 episodes of Chernobyl, in my opinion, are still better than the first 3 episodes of this show. But this has been very, very good.
Wild.
Yeah, I love Pedro Pascal's Joel.
Me too.
I was not fully sold on the casting when it first happened. Selfishly, I wanted someone like Josh Brolin.
I mean,
that would have been like the perfect video game character, Joel. But look, his Texas accent is pretty much gone.
I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say too. Yeah. I was like, you know what, his accent isn't great, but just kind of keeps going in and out.
They're like,
fine.
You know what?
It's fine.
They told him, Pedro, stop. Just Just go.
I don't mind it. I actually don't.
I don't mind it either. I really like him as Joel.
Let me ask you really quick though, as a Texan, right? Like,
okay.
Like, is that? I mean, if you're full on Texan and you grew up there, are you expected to have the straight up, just full on accent, or is there a version that exists with Pedro's accent where it's like, it's a little
you're looking
bit more
at
subdued? Well, you don't. I mean,
I don't have an accent at all.
You don't have an accent.
I grew up in El Paso, Texas.
No, I know, but is there a is it a black and white situation, or is there like a middle ground like Pedro that exists in the world? Like I don't know.
I don't think there is a middle ground. He was like truly born and raised in Texas, and like that part, like Austin, like North.
It's pretty clear he was born and raised there. So it should be thicker. It should be like the game where.
Thicker, like it wasn't that he was born in El Paso, then moved over there and kind of came on as he grew older. No, it should be thicker, but I
don't. Just curious, because I don't know. Some people have like hints of an accent, and I'm like, okay, that's some assimilation there maybe happening. I don't know. But I noticed that too. I was like, that's that accent. Oh, that's English, or that's American accent right there.
It's back. Oh, let's go. Back. Oh, it's gone. It's fine.
Kind of like the pizza time internet connection on our show every once in a while.
Every once in a while, it's a little shitty.
Oh, there it is.
It's back.
It's good now. Nope. Okay, that's fine. It's okay. Yeah. It's always okay.
So I think it was the 3 episodes have been very, very, very good. Episode 1, I was like, okay, this was a good start. To me, the best parts of the series, which is so funny to me, have absolutely nothing to do with the game. The first intro with Jonathan from The Mummy. I don't know his name. I'm so sorry. Whatever your name is.
He's forever to us. He's forever Jonathan. Like
to me, it's like my favorite movie of all time. It has to be, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that intro was so like unsettling, and then they like topped it in episode 2 with the doctor in Indonesia, and then she has that conference where they find the first outbreak starts to happen, and she says bomb everybody. And then in the 3rd episode, it's, Joel and Allie walking through. They see a grave where people were burned because the government told them they were going to go somewhere safe. And then you kind of get this like really short vignette before it goes into the episode about Frank of the blanket and the mom. And then you start going,
the kids.
So like the most haunting stuff has been flashbacks. And to me, that's like, that makes me like so happy because like, again, the show, I feel like Neil Druckmann and the showrunner, they knew that all you had to do to make this show great is literally take the game and put it on TV. That's all you had to do. And it worked. You captured your audience jumped for like 200% the 2nd episode. Yeah. Because that's all you have to do. So we know the story of the game for gamers, right? And I was concerned is like, I played the game on PS3, PS4, and PS5, part 1. So like, I've played the game 3 or 4 times through already. Yeah. It's not a game you should probably be playing 3 or 4 times through. It's
no. Yeah. You should. It's great.
Yeah, it's so good. The story's so wonderful. And like, we know what's coming. Like, we know what this next episode is. We know what the next episode will be. So like, I was really concerned how they could keep the attention of the gamers. And they're doing it in the flashbacks and in the side stuff. And then like, even in this episode, you get this love story that's completely different than Bill and Frank's in the game. Selfishly, would I've liked to seen Bill and Frank's episode? No, sorry. Would I've liked to say Bill and Ellie interact like they do in the game? That's the only thing I would have wanted to see. But yeah, I think they've knocked it out of the park, man.
But here's why that's okay. Yeah, they have. First of all, I agree with you with everything you just said. Yes. Yeah. But here's why that's okay. It's because she has that interaction with Joel. They're the same person. Yeah. So they didn't need that. But no, I 100% agree with you. And here's the thing that I think that the series in general has been doing so well. Yeah. It's that these vignettes that you're talking about, these a lot of people are calling them changes, but they're not changes. They're additions. Yes. They're not taking scenes or things from the game that we've seen and then tweaking them. No, they're adding things that fit perfectly into the game and into this world. Yeah. So that's what I think a lot of people need to be taking notes on, is that like, you can have new things that both the gamer audience and new audiences can both love. How do you do that? Well, you keep it true to the source material while also making them just additions. You don't have to take something particularly familiar and then, oh, that's the way we get both audiences, is that because it's something familiar and then we're going to change it a little bit for other audiences. No, just add new things, add supplemental information that both parties can experience together for the first time. And that just fits, that could have been part of the game for all we knew, right? Like that could have easily been part of the game, and that could have been just fine. So that's what they're doing right here, like that no other property video game adaptation has been doing, is making additions to both sides that work for both parties. But then here's why I love episode 3 so much. Yes, because they just keep showing off. They're like, yeah, we can do that. But here we can also, we're such good writers. We can take something that you are familiar with and completely change it as well. Yeah. And make it fit into our story. Yeah. And then in a strange way, also build off from the game. So it's just, at the end of the day, man, it's just good writing. Like you have these really good writers. They know how to perfectly take people through both instances of this IP and make it something that is fruitful for both, that we can all enjoy. And that it's just again, it's just people should be taking notes left and right about how they're approaching this, because I think it can apply to almost everything else. Because every thing we've ever seen, Tomb Raider, both Tomb Raiders, Mortal Kombat, you know, they're struggling because I don't think they
don't play the games.
They don't play the games. They don't play the games, and they don't really understand the lore, and they don't know really how to go about it. And maybe part of it is the fact that they have fucking Neil Druckmann, who created the games.
Well, yeah, I was
holding it too. Maybe that's part of it too.
Absolutely. I was about to say, look, I have opinions about Neil Druckmann. I think the guy thinks he's a genius that
100%
actually is.
Of course.
I really disagree with what Neil Druckmann did in The Last of Us Part 2.
Me too.
In terms of story, in terms of character portrayal.
You liked it better than I did, though.
And I did like it better than Ed. Ed hated it.
I hated those choices.
Yeah. But I do think the X factor is Neil Druckmann.
I think so too. I think so too.
Kind of guide it to make sure it doesn't deviate too far from the game, and if it does, there's a really good purpose. And you said this point to me after we talked about episode 3 last week about why Bill and Frank's story is so important. And do you remember it? Because you should tell it again.
Why is it so important to the show?
Yeah, why it's important to the show for Joel.
Oh, right. Well, because it ties it in beautifully at the end of the show. I mean, like it could have ended there; it would have been fine, to be honest. But at the end of the episode, when you understand that when you realize that they come up to their house and they get the note, and you know, it reveals so much, not just about Bill, but again his relationship with our main characters, or technically just Joel. But it is the what's the term that they use in writing? It is the point that launches everything. What is it called?
The launching point.
Whatever, I forget. Sorry. Yeah. But it's the point where it starts the actual story for Joel. Like this is the point where Joel goes, okay, I have to suck it up and bring Ellie. It's bigger than me. You know, I have to do I have to do this. There's some hope here, right? Yeah. So it's the turning point for him, and then for the rest of the series, and that was brilliant, because that's not what Bill functioned as in the game at all. I mean, honestly, when you look back at the game, they kind of had to write Bill in for that particular section because you needed like an action portion of that game, which worked for the game. For the game, it worked, but for the show, it's like, well, Bill's basically another Joel. They have the same interactions. Like it's not that interesting. Right. So here, they actually lift that up. They actually have him be something more important, right? You know, and I thought that was beautiful. That was such a beautiful way of taking a character that was fun and was cool, but now had such a more central point. Like without Bill, we may not have the rest of the show now, right? So that's how incredible that Bill, how they made Bill and Frank's story and pivotal to matter in this show for sure.
So obviously the show is great. Any issues so far?
Yeah, I've been waiting for this. Absolutely.
So I have
one major one. I have one major one.
Okay.
And that's Ellie. That's Bella Ramsey as Ellie. She's the biggest problem with the show. Mm-hmm. She's not a major problem yet, but with every episode it continues, and it makes me go, okay, maybe this may not resolve. But my biggest issue with Bella Ramsey as Ellie isn't particularly Bella's performance as an actress. I think she's doing a fine job. But at the same time, it's the portrayal. But here's the thing. She's the only character that I'm having this issue with. So I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, going like, okay, maybe it's just a writing thing. Maybe they asked her to be. My big issue with Ellie here is that they're not getting the sensitive side of Ellie. She's largely this punk bitch. Yeah. Who sees herself, in my opinion, like she is Joel's equal, like she's trying to be his buddy. Yes. And like I'm like, no, dude, you're not his equal. Yeah, you're a child. Yeah, and it never felt that way. It never felt like a kid, like Ellie in the game was trying to be better than Joel or his equal. Like she understood that she was the kid and that he needed to protect her, that she had vulnerabilities, that she couldn't always put on that persona, right? But in the show, she's just walking around like she owns the place. Yeah. And that's the problem I have. She doesn't show that soft side, which is what made her such a beloved character, is that she could embody those both at the same time in appropriate methods. So here you're not getting that. And that's my big issue. And I don't know if it's Bella, and I'm starting to think it is. Like, I don't know if she just has the range. Do you agree?
I think it's Bella, but I also think it's Neil Druckmann.
You think it's Neil Druckmann?
Yeah, he did what he did in part 2. Part 2, Joel was not the character we came of.
Interesting.
And he got full control in part 2, and he was not. Look, Neil Druckmann, I think, loves female characters. Fine, and
that's fine.
She is the Ellie from part 2, the equal to Joel.
Fuck, bro, I didn't even think about that. You're right.
She goes off on her own. She finds a perfectly fine box of Tampax, which is like the weirdest thing. She's like, no. Cool.
That's the thing you noticed in the show, in the episode. That's pretty funny.
Vividly bugged me.
Like, also, one box in
the there.
I have like 3 of them. For real. Someone
doesn't listen to Joel, which she does listen to Joel in the game. In the first game, she listens to Joel.
Right.
She follows his orders. She's not listening to Joel. She's his equal. She's his buddy. It's a problem. And I think another problem is, I've not liked the casting of Bella Ramsey.
I don't
at all. I don't think she was the right casting for this, unfortunately. But on top of that, she never played the first game. They told her not to play it. They said, don't play the first game.
You mentioned this to me. I was like, what?
And it seems like it's pretty clear she didn't. And like you said, I have the same biggest problem. She feels like she's Joel's equal, and she shouldn't be. She's 14 years old. She's not the equal. Like Joel needs to, I don't know. It feels a little bit of like that kind of like, oh, God, I hate to say it, like kind of like that woke crap where,
I agree. A little bit.
Like she should be less useful than Joel. She should need Joel.
Yeah.
She's basically showing that she doesn't need him. Look, the next episode is in Pittsburgh, the ambush.
Yeah, it's ambush.
So we'll find out. But yeah, she's been my biggest issue with the show by far. Everybody else has put together really good performance. One one performance like pretty much matching the game's performance. I really am excited to see Tommy.
Me too.
Screen, man.
Gabriel Luna killed it.
Yeah, he was so good. And he has a proper Texas accent. He's clearly not.
He does, yeah.
We got a Chris Pratt situation here.
I'm so excited for Gabriel Luna because I thought he just absolutely brought a next level to Tommy that you don't get in the games. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I'm really down on Bella Ramsey.
Well, me too. And so let me ask you, because season 2 has been greenlit.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to focus on part 2 of the game where Ellie's older.
On parts of the game, which is a bummer to me, because if the best part of the series in my opinion, obviously, I'm sure people will disagree with me, but has been the flashbacks and the beginning of it. I kind of want some of that.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
I'm sure we will. I'm sure
there'll be flashbacks and stuff. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, so what does this worry you for part 2? Do you think that they should for one, I feel like they might have to recast her because the time jump is that she's much older, she's much more mature, and I just don't know if Bella's going to seem that way.
Yeah.
Even though she's not a child in real life, but she just doesn't look like it. I don't know, but either way, do you feel like they should recast?
I do. But it's not, it's not so much that I know I just, kind of shit on her performance. Again, I am blaming Druckmann for a chunk of that.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, look,
but why would, oh my God, it annoys me that you think that you might be right just because.
I mean, dude,
he created Ellie. Like, why would he butcher? Like, why would he
co-created Ellie?
Okay, fine, fair enough.
And then in the second one, it was just him. Same with Uncharted 4.
Fair enough.
And
you're not wrong.
Like most people think Uncharted 5 is going to be Drake's daughter.
I thought they're not making Uncharted games anymore.
Naughty Dog isn't. Sony's going to make a game.
They're going to make more. Really?
Sony's going to make a game without Naughty Dog.
That's a mistake.
I think maybe it might be. Yeah.
That's a heavy mistake.
Anyway, so like, yeah, I do think you have to recast her again. I think you have to. You cast Bella Ramsey. She's 19 in real life, right? But she looks quite young. Like, you say
she has a kid face
of season 2 by the end of this year. You have to fucking recast her. You have to recast her for someone.
Or they're gonna, again, they've changed they've sort of adjusted the time in the episode in the show. So maybe they just do the same thing here, where she's just maybe 5 years older or something like that. And they can get away with it. But
I don't know.
But I think
I recast.
I would recast too. I mean, I really would. I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like, it's just not working. It's not working.
No, I don't think it's working.
She's literally like one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah.
And I just, it sucks that like they're not really nailing her. It's again, like I think she's nailing that half of Ellie's personality. It's just she's missing the complete other half.
Yeah, which is important. Like, but like when Ellie is like on her tour, we'll call that, in Last of Us Part 2, she's super fucking aggressive, but she's also incredibly fragile, and you see that in moments.
Absolutely.
As she goes through that. And I say tour because I don't want to give anything away, but I don't see any emotion from her.
I agree. Yeah.
She's just the same. She's a little punk. Like, well,
she's a punk.
She kills the zombie. I don't know the name. The undead.
The clicker.
It wasn't the clicker. In this episode.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Rumble was awesome.
What is the name of the normal
like walkers? Whatever. Even when she kills him, infected. Yes, she's got no emotion. She just stabs.
No. Yeah, she like literally has like just like straight, like she's not scared at all. And I'm like, that's not Ellie. Like Ellie would be terrified.
People are like, clearly this lady's broken, and I'm like, oh yeah. See, they're already hinting at a Last of Us Part 2 situation where she is the equal, and it's, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's
Ellie in. I don't know.
I couldn't agree with you more. She's missing that whole softness with her, and that was part of what made her so great. I mean, if you just see, somebody put the two scenes together where she's like says like, I'm sorry about Tess. She tries to console Joel about the Tess's death, and in the game she approaches it like very sympathetic. Like she looks down, she's like kind of scared to be around Joel and just be like, hey, look, I'm really sorry about Tess. But in the show, she's trying to keep up that wall.
Yeah,
she's trying to. You can tell she's trying to keep up that wall, that strength, that fake facade, instead of being just vulnerable. Like she's trying to connect to Joel, being sincere about the fact he just lost someone that obviously very, very dear to, very close to her. And she just, I don't know. The way she plays it is just not the same. It's just not. And it sucks because it's like, it's super annoying because it's just very annoying.
There's no layers to Ellie, and that's been the biggest problem.
Exactly. And a lot of times she just kind of has the same look on her face.
Facial expression, there's nothing there. She has she treats Joel as an equal, and it is a big problem with me. And you, clearly.
No, it is. It really is, because they're not. It's supposed to be a daughter. It's supposed to be a daughter and father relationship. And if your daughter's just trying to feel like, oh, I'm better than you, it's like, that's not.
It's not it. Or I'm the same as you.
Or I'm the same as you. Yeah, exactly. But there were some moments that again, like where like if they just write it in better, like again when she is in the car, and when she's in the car and she's like just fascinated by what it is. She's never really been in that. She finds the cassette tape, like, she's seeing the world as a child. Yeah, it's those moments where I'm like, okay, look, it's just that works.
Yeah.
Where she's letting down the walls a little bit, right? And then Joel has to teach her like what that is, and so those moments are really great, because obviously that's the relationship you're sort of looking for. So I'm hoping that there's more stuff like that, but it's I don't know. We'll see. But overall, I think it's very good. I loved episode 3 particularly. I thought was awesome. And so before we move on to war, let's talk about the gay sex scene. What'd you think? I'm just kidding.
Hey, to each their own. You can do whatever you want.
You put me on blast in the beginning of this. I'm just kidding. You don't have to.
There's no judgment here. If you fast forward through it, hey. I know many people that did. They all told me they did.
I'm kidding about that, but at the same time, what about those performances were great. I thought Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett did an amazing job.
I was a little worried about Offerman at first when the first episode first started, and not when they first met, and I was like, "Are you gonna be this awkward fucking dude for the whole thing?" It's kind of weird.
Right.
But also what did I say that I didn't like? Oh, I said there's moments in that episode, like the first meet.
Yeah,
felt like it went on for like 3 hours.
It was too long. I agree with you too.
Go here, let's go.
And it was also just overly awkward. I was just like, oh my god, this is so painful.
Come on, let's go.
Like this is so like,
you guys are gonna fall in love. Come on, I want to get to the next scenes here.
I agree. It was just a lot of long pauses of just nothingness. And I'm like, this is fucking awkward, bro.
Lots of long pauses, and I was
okay. Yeah, exactly. They could have cut a little time. It's a timing issue, is what I'm saying. Yeah,
I thought that too. Yeah,
it's getting a little like
it been an hour and 5 minutes, not an hour and 15.
Right.
So, but everything was great about it. Very nice love story. I mean, it was a fantastic episode. I got nothing negative to say about it, really.
Episode 4.
Yeah,
let's see what happens. It's like finally get a shootout. A shootout's been what I've been wanting for a while now.
Some action would be great. Some action would be good. It could have been one of those episodes if you don't have that letter from Bill to Joel.
Yeah.
It could have been one of those episodes people left, well, what did it really matter? But now you see, but the letter at the end tied it all together just like so nicely.
Oh, that letter was amazing.
I was like, that's storytelling. That's how you make something matter.
The letter was great. Yeah. And plus it is a trope in the game, right? To receive the letter. I thought that was great. And then I thought the laugh in there was really good too. Like that little bit of levity when he goes, hey. Like he took the time to write, hey. That's pretty funny.
I really like the title of the letter. To whomever, but probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked that.
That was a good touch. But yeah, I love that. I love that letter. So great. Yeah. It's just to know that those two characters had such respect for it. Like they were protecting, they understood each other, even though they kind of like hated each other. They understood each other at their best moment. Like they were protectors. They knew what they had to do. And they, I thought that was beautiful. So that was a great, and plus when you look back at like what happened with Frank and Bill in the game, I'm like, oh man, I fucking forgot about that. I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking horrible. That's just so dour. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
In the game, Frank leaves Bill. But Frank leaves Bill. God, he goes across town. By the way, the town in the game is better than the town here.
Oh yeah,
not even gonna lie to you.
I mean, come on.
But you can't. I don't think you can actually like fake the town in the game in real life. It would be too hard to grasp. Anyway, Frank leaves Bill. He ends up getting bitten, so he ends up hanging himself. But before he hangs himself, he writes a letter
review. 1 star.
Like, I would never want to be with you. You're such a blah 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 blah. They're a fucking asshole. And then he hangs himself. And then Bill finds out that Frank stole his battery and all that stuff. It's a brutal fucking
so brutal.
It's just like, Jesus.
Yeah, there's no way that would have played as good on TV.
Yeah, no, I don't think that plays as good, but it would have been cool to see, because you're just like, oh, god damn. But
yeah, wild,
pretty good.
So much. I like the change here.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the last section of today, our war review. And no, it is not the Jason Statham and Jet Li movie that came out in America.
I forgot that was a movie.
That was a movie. Yeah, oh, Jesus. No, it's not that. It's not that. It is the Indian Hindi language action thriller 2019 film War. It is by the same director as oh shit, why am I forgetting the name? Pathaan that we saw last week. Yeah. Siddharth Anand. He also he did Pathaan. So this was his last film before the pandemic, War. And it is our third Indian movie that we watched in our quest to traverse the Indian movie landscape and really get around it, because we've just been loving what India's been doing, particularly in this genre of movie. And it's a movie. It's about two raw intelligence officers who for those who want to watch it, I won't spoil too much, but like basically one of them seemingly goes rogue, and one has to chase the other and figure out what's actually going on. And it's your classic sort of espionage action thriller. And before I say anything, I want to get my buddy's first reaction to this movie first. So I'm gonna throw it to you, Alex. What did you think of War?
I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I didn't like it as much as Pathaan. For me, Pathaan was way better. Solely based, I think, on just the who's on Shah Rukh Khan's performance in that. I think he was so good in that, and John Abraham, the villain hero in Pathaan, to me, like, elevated that movie to a height that is not reachable by War, but it was still a very fun ride. Good twist, nice fun fucking twist in it. I loved it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the song in the middle is a fucking banger, dude. Yeah,
of course.
Oh, god damn, I've been listening to repeat for so long. It is a banger among bangers. So I liked it a lot. I clearly think that these three guys, Tiger, Khabib, I believe is his name, or no, Kabir, and Khalid, and Pathaan.
I see what you're saying.
Up for a movie, because that would be absolutely epic.
Well, that is what's happening in Tiger 3.
Oh, you know that for sure?
Yeah, it's in post-production for a while now, and they're slated to make an appearance in that movie. Oh. So all three of them are slated to appear in Tiger 3. Yeah,
that's dope. Yeah. But yeah, I loved it. It was a fun ride. Another really fun action movie from Indian cinema, from India. And again, like, it's such a unique action film. Like, it just doesn't fit anything you see here. And again, I think it reminds me of action films of the old days, like Face Off and Commando.
That's so funny you mentioned Face Off, because there's a thing here in this movie where I'm like, that's fucking Face Off.
Yeah, that's fucking Face Off. There's a thing where you're like, motherfucker. But yeah, it takes a lot of like really cool tropes and funny tropes of those movies and throws them in this, and it's just a blast. It's another, like, you can just smile from ear to ear during it all. So I really enjoyed it as well. Not as much as Pathaan. Nowhere near as much as Pathaan. But it is good. I enjoyed it. What about you? What do you think?
I couldn't agree with you more, as usual. I have the same general feelings, is that it's a great action film. It's escapism, right? It's just escape cinema. Yeah. That's all it is, and it's just great. You're gonna have a good time. Yeah. As long as you surrender yourself to it and all its things. But it definitely was nowhere near as good as Pathaan. No, it does not reach those heights, and it's exactly for that reason that you said. And what's the performances? The performances of Pathaan are just honestly, they're a little next level. So much more charisma. I think I actually think the script is also a little better in fleshing out those characters.
It is.
Okay, so I had, and before I get into my big issue, I do agree with you that Kabir in this movie, the main character, I thought he obviously looks the part. He looks fucking like he is. Again, I was gawking at him. I'm like, the guy's fucking incredible to look at. He was good. He was a great lead. I liked him. Can't wait to see more from him. The thing about this movie I really did not like. But I was like, you know what? Just punch through it. It's fine. But I really did not like Khalid and the actor. I thought he was terrible.
Whoa.
Like, as an actor, like him doing like the stunts and shit. Obviously, yes, he clearly can dance and stuff. I could not get over him for the first half of the movie. I was so over him. I was just like, he had like constipation face. Like that's his acting. Like the whole first half of the movie is like, are you acting? Are you even trying? Like,
so his name is Tiger Shroff.
Yeah, Shroff.
Yeah,
he plays like basically kind of the main character for the first half of the movie. I'm like, I'm sorry, I just couldn't. I could not get. I didn't believe him. And I just thought, it was hard to get behind him because. You have your mom and your dad, but like you have nothing else about you that I really care about. And I was like, fuck. Every time he was on screen, I was like, can we go back to Kabir, please? Like he has more charisma.
He has more screen presence.
He has more screen presence. He felt like a boy. Like I just didn't buy him. I didn't buy him as a raw agent. I just didn't.
You know what? He's too pretty.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Especially when you go with,
he was more of a pretty boy.
Yeah. Like when you compare it to Kabir, like there is not a moment in this film that he doesn't have some sort of bandage on his face.
Right.
He's always beat to shit, Kabir.
Right.
But Khalid is always pretty. He's always pretty.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the biggest part. Again, nothing against his like athleticism because it's
obviously he's very talented. I mean,
insane.
that beginning action scene where he busts through the window and that entire action scene, I was like, what the fuck? This is so awesome.
Yeah,
it's so cool. It's so good.
Yeah, that scene was great.
The action was awesome.
The final fight scene between them two was also very good.
Yeah,
that dude is an athletic freak. I don't know.
Oh my god, yes.
I don't know what he eats in a day, but like holy shit, the dude is a fucking athletic freak.
I will say this to an olive branch.
Yeah,
I loved him when he was bad. I like so spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
We find out that Khalid is actually not Khalid. That was actually really sad. The fact that he actually died, and then he swapped his face. But him as Sarab, I think it was Sarab.
Yeah, Sarab, I think,
he playing the villain really worked. Yeah, I thought he did a way better job as the villain. I was like, oh, there he is. There he is. He's acting really well now. Like this face just kind of worked. Like he has like this crunched up face like this.
The whole time.
Woodpecker, but it works so well as a villain. I was like, he's doing a great job as a villain. But when he was playing the raw agent, I just didn't buy him, and I didn't know what that was. I was like, is that direction? Was that his? I don't know. That's clearly you had nothing really to say about that, and that's fine. But I was just not. I wanted him off screen for like the first half of the movie. I wanted to go back to Kabir, and thank God that we did for like after the interval, which I'm learning by the way now is a thing, that intervals are a thing.
Intervals are a thing. It's clear. Yeah,
I kind of like it. It's very like, oh so man,
I like epic. It too. Yeah. I'm with it. I think it's a really cool.
I don't know. You don't see that anymore. You don't have intermissions, like
But all these movies are like 2.5 hours. So
I know fucking action epics, 2.5 hours. By the way, Tiger Part 2, I think is 2 hours and 40 minutes. I was kind of looking at it the other day. I was like, oh shit, this is fucking long, bro. But anyways, that was my biggest complaint about that. Was just like I didn't like what on the screen. The other thing that I thought was just I could not suspend my belief on this. You tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay,
but. What was the reason that Kabir, after the Italy job, after like, his like girlfriend, whatever, died and all that, like and then he finds out about the chess pieces of Il's, what's the name of the bad dude? Islia? What is it called? Islani.
Islani.
Why couldn't he reach out to Khalid? I don't understand that. And I don't understand the whole like, oh yeah, you don't know if I'm bad or not, but I'll tell you later. I'm like, what? You just admitted that he was your dearest friend or whatever. You trusted him. I don't understand that whole. I don't get it. That was one of the things I was like, I'm not sure I understand that doesn't. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm about to implode, but you tell me if I'm wrong. Did that make sense?
No, him not telling him at all. I think it just kind of goes back to not actually knowing who the pawn was. So like,
but he never says that.
And right. You never get clear communication of that, but you also like never get like, as you're going through it, you hear him, who's the pawn, who's the fourth piece, who's the fourth piece, and right. There's not a fourth piece. There's not a fourth piece, and I think that's just like it was just the way to kind of hide it in plain, like just kind of say like him not.
I know, but it's just like
for granted that he just doesn't trust anyone.
They also keep telling the audience that they have a real, like the closest relationship. Like there's no one else that, I trust him with my life. And like, so I'm like, there's no moment like Khalid would at least even like, just take it, like take the act down a little bit, bro. Or not Khalid, Kabir. Because he the whole time he's acting like, like I've turned.
Yeah.
And, I don't want you to know, but I'm a bad guy now, man. I'm like
supposed to be part of the act, yeah.
He didn't know that Khalid was even a thing yet until way later. So I don't know. I didn't understand. I don't know. Considering how close or like how much they trusted each other by the end of Italy, I just didn't understand that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I wasn't like maybe if they had shown a scene where. Oh, Khalid was here at that time. And like, then he goes like, oh shit, maybe it could have been Khalid. Like, you know what I mean? Like something like that. But no, it's just like,
yeah,
I'm going to put on this show for you for no real, I don't know. So it just, that part didn't really work for me.
Yeah. I didn't
understand. Yeah. He never dropped the act in front of the one person that maybe he trusted out of the world. I just didn't understand that.
Do you think maybe that has something to do with Pathan being such a layered character, and he felt
maybe so.
One note. I do think that's part of it because again, we're like a week off of Pathan, and having that really great theater experience, and we're just really enjoying that movie, and I think that's part of it. Like, it's partially because. Kabir was very one note, very tough the entire time. Never really kind of dropped the shield. Only when he with the kid.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it was always the same. Never telling anybody about it.
I think it's just a simple like they could have shown one scene where that was justified a little bit more.
I just looked at the like Rotten Tomatoes scores. War is actually the lowest so far of the Tiger on and Kabir trilogy
in this universe.
Yeah, because Tiger 1 is 73, Tiger 2 is 70, Pathan 83. So
it is
the highest. And then War is 69.
Okay. So it's the lowest rated.
It's the lowest rated.
A respectable score. 70% is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
Definitely not as good, as Pathan. Pathan, I'm like, well, now seeing what Pathan is versus like the things that have come before. I'm like, wow, they really got it this time. I was like,
funny thing is,
damn.
We said we were going to watch Thor in our last War in our last episode, and we got a comment on YouTube that said, "Don't expect too much." Pathan,
right? I wasn't expecting it to be like Pathan.
Yeah, things you liked about really good, really like really. I didn't love the love story so much.
Yeah, that was a little weaker.
Yeah,
but they don't stick around it too much.
No, it's pretty quick. But yeah, I think that this movie setting up the character of Kabir as this rogue agent who's still a traitor at the end will kind of work really well going into like the shared universe.
He definitely felt different than Pathan, which is great. Like they all feel like very much their own characters. Which is good.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a fun,
I enjoyed it.
And
I just that was that one thing where I just every time Khalid was on screen, I really was like, I hate this, but it's fine. I'll get over it. And now that I know how it ends too, I could look back at it a little bit better. But I was having a hard time in the beginning because mostly also too because I actually thought he was going to be the main character.
Yeah,
and I thought we were going to follow him past this movie, and I'm like, oh my god, please no. But luckily, that's not what happened. That's not what they had in mind. So thank goodness. Did
you like the twist, the face-off twist?
Yes, I saw it coming really pretty early, but I still liked it. Yeah, because I mean, the moment they said plastic surgeon, and then there was a shot in the beginning where his face is because right after they find him, they find him, his whole face is like covered like crazily like this.
Yeah,
and I remember I was watching the scene, I was going, why is it so covered? I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably just like, I don't know. They ran out of makeup that day. I don't know. But then the moment they said that, I was like,
that's a good point.
This motherfucker. This motherfucker might be the pawn. This motherfucker might be the pawn. And so, when it happened, I was like, I mean, it's still a good twist. I like the twist. It's cool. I mean, obviously, because it gave layers to this guy that I just didn't like in the beginning. So I was like, oh my god, thank you. At least they made him way more interesting later.
Yeah.
As an actor, so I was like, okay, cool. So
it's
a fun twist. It's a fun. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. It's fun.
All these movies are ridiculous. In the last movie,
fine.
Flew around on jets.
Exactly. So no, I totally was fine. I was totally fine with it. I just wish they kind of were able to. I don't know. I just saw it coming a little bit, so that was a little disappointing. But at the same time, I liked the twist. It was cool.
To me, this one felt more like a Fast and Furious. Of the newer age versus Pathan, which felt like Fast and Furious of the old age.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
again, and it all boils down to the charisma of the cast. Because even the woman in Pathan
was way better. Yeah,
way better. What's her name? Deepika Padukone.
But I think also again, I think part of it too was that I think Pathan just also had a better script. Yeah, I think they had time to really knock on the characters a little bit more. So that could also be here.
But to your point about your hit on Khalid, you spend more time with the hero Pathan. Yes. In this movie, you spent more time with Khalid, who ends up being
who wasn't even him. It wasn't him the entire time. Yeah. Right. Which again, I think would have been a fine twist. Again, if I liked his initial character better, I think would have been nice. But I just wasn't buying him. I wasn't buying him as a raw agent at all. Yeah. But as a villain, I thought he was fucking awesome. Again, like you said, the face-off moment was so good. Yeah. Oh, also, I liked the way that they revealed how Kabir knew about Khalid, which was going back to the eye thing. I was like, the eye thing. I was like, that's so brilliant.
That's when I figured it out. When he pushed him out of the shot and he goes right, and I was like, wait, he has a blind spot. How the fuck did he do that?
So that's how you knew. Oh, okay. Yeah, and that was a great way to tie that in. I was like, oh, right.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit, the guy's he's not him. He's not Khalid. Khalid's gonna be dead. And sure enough, there he is. But yeah, overall, really, really fun film.
Still a fun film. Still doing it great.
We're still having trouble reaching the heights of RRR, but these have all been really good films. So
they're all really, really solid. I mean, seriously, like really some of the funnest times I've had in a theater in a long time, just because, Hollywood nowadays can feel very polished. Like they're just really trying way too fucking hard, And a lot of times they lose their way in like really what people go to the cinemas for. They get really caught up with what people expect, and it's like these motherfuckers aren't worried about that at all. like it's not even close to how like chill and laid back they are. They're just like, dude, let's fucking go balls to the walls. Let's just fucking have some fun. And like just have some fun, man. Like just have some fun. Speaking of that, what'd you think of the motorcycle chase scene here versus the one in Pathan? I actually thought the one here was way better. Because
way better. I think Tiger does a lot of his own stunts. I looked it up.
I think so too.
That's why it looked better, because he was riding the motorcycle. Again,
they're younger.
Has nothing to do with the motorcycle chases. It has everything to do with Tom fucking Cruise ruining everything and doing everything on his own.
Yeah.
Because you can quickly tell it's fake. But this one was better because Tiger was riding, and it was a better chase.
It was. I liked it. I liked it way better than the original one. And I actually really liked the action scene at the end of this one more than the one that we got with the freaking flying jet thing. the cars in the snow. That was so fucking sexy, bro. I was like, ooh.
It reminded me of Pierce Brosnan.
James Bond. Of course. Yes. Die Another Day.
Die Another Day. He's literally flipped over on his Aston Martin, and he presses a button with the ejector seat. As a kid, there was nothing cooler that I've seen in my life.
I 100% agree with you. That was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen up to that point, where he flips the car with the ejector.
With the ejector seat.
So smart.
Dude, I fucking look again. This isn't about James Bond, but whoever does the next James Bond movie, watch some of these spy thrillers from India and take some hints.
Okay, I wanted to ask you one of the questions I had for you. I agree with you. I agree. One of the questions I had for you was, because while I was watching this, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want the fucking brute. I don't want the Daniel Craig Bond anymore. I think I think I might want them to go back a little bit to it being a little bit more fun. And so I want to ask you, like, what do you think next Bond? Like, should they go a little bit back to the fun, lighthearted? You know, let's just kind of be ridiculous?
I would directing it. I would take hints from Pathan and all these Indian cinema movies, these spy thrillers.
Yeah,
and you know, obviously you can up the production value because your budget's going to be 3 times, 4 times as much as what these Indian cinema movies cost, right? But I want them to have cool gadgets. I want him to be, see more stuff like Die Another Day or GoldenEye. GoldenEye had some of the greatest action scenes.
GoldenEye's so great.
GoldenEye's still my favorite Bond movie by far.
Really? More than Casino Royale?
Just a little bit more.
Really? Wow. Well, done by the same guy, so I can't blame you.
Done just a little bit more. But yes, I think that you have to go a little bit more of the fanatical fantasy route, because if he's too brooding and he's too much like the realistic James Bond we just got, you're going to get compared to Daniel Craig, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. I agree. I think they have to go. I agree with you. So I feel that way too. I think they have to sort of maybe go back to a little bit, like, take it out of the dark and bring it back to like some fun time, like where you can go to James Bond, see some fucking fun, probably maybe a little more Pierce Brosnan-y age, maybe. Maybe we go back a little bit to that.
To tie this to the beginning of our discussion when we were talking about DC, I think you have to do the same thing with Batman: The Brave and the Bold.
Sure.
I think you have to go a little more fanatical. You have to give him the gadgets, because we have a realistic Batman, basically coexisting with this Batman. So you're gonna have to be
extremely grounded. Yeah,
you're gonna have to go a little bit off the rails not off the rails. That's about what I say. Yeah, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit more from the grounded reality to something different. But yeah, dude, I really, really enjoy these Indian cinema films. They are so good, and I just,
so much fun.
James Bond producers, fucking hire the guy. Hire
these actors, dude. I want to see them in superhero roles or some shit. Or
I want to see the okay. Let me look
an
up
Indian actor. Oh, actually, we have Miss Marvel. Forgot about that.
Who's Miss Marvel? Oh yeah,
got him.
My bad. I was thinking Captain Marvel. I know who she is. Don't fucking talk to me. So I want Rom from RRR.
Of course.
As like a Sinbad character.
Yeah.
Go do like a Sinbad character. Do what they're not doing with Pirates of the Caribbean anymore. Go a high seas adventure. They're going to hunt a kraken. I don't know. And just go all out. Let one of these Indian directors come into Hollywood.
Give them a big ass budget.
Yeah,
and
Hollywood.
See what they do.
All you throw in our face is that diversity matters. If it matters, go hire one of these guys.
I agree.
And fucking just give it to us, man. Because I'm so ready for a Hollywood film directed by one of these guys.
I couldn't agree with you more.
It'd be so cool.
And to just put it to speaking of budget, last week we talked about Pathan, being only made for fucking like $30 million. War was made for less than that. It was made from I don't know the exact thing, but it's probably closer to like 25 million or something like that. 20 million.
Yeah,
and what you can do with 20 million, man, is just like, wow, that's fucking insane. Like, it's 20 million now. I mean, that's cheaper than TV budgets.
Like, I wonder if you and I, because we're both editors by trade, I wonder what like the rate is. Like if we were to get a chance to edit a Bollywood or Indian cinema film, I wonder what the rate would be. Like if it would be like so low or something.
I mean, obviously I think it'd be low because there's not a lot of budget.
Right. That's what I'm saying, right?
I know. Yeah.
So like I wonder, that's what I'm saying. If there's any Indian editors out there that have worked in the film industry, comment below and like let us know what is the pay? Yeah. What is the pay discrepancy here? Like, what are you guys not making?
I wonder how much they outsource. You think? I
can't imagine. Well, all the editor when I was watching the like beginning credits, like the editors were Indian, so at least we know they're keeping it there. I can't imagine you're outsourcing anything to America.
I don't either. You're right.
Way too expensive.
Yeah, it's way too expensive. I mean, there's just no one scene would take $30 million.
For nowadays,
one fucking graphics, one fucking heavy CGI scene.
Like even like people are like, oh well, the CGI is bad, but like honestly, the CGI in this was comparable to some of the Marvel films we saw.
Yeah, again, fucking $20 million, man. The fuck are you expecting? I thought it was great for $20 million. Like fuck it.
I'll say this: the chase scene in these movies are by far and away 10 times better than the chase scene in Moon Knight. You remember the chase scene in Moon Knight with the cupcake?
Oh my God, please don't even.
The worst things I've ever seen on TV.
It's one of the worst things. Yeah, it's one of the worst. It's just
What's your excuse? These guys have way less budget, and if we're being honest, if it's all there, quote unquote, less talent.
To be because it's less. They have more time and less expectations. Like here, it's just a lot faster.
They do have more time. These movies take. So the director said Tiger 3, I just looked up, has been in production and post-production now for over a year.
Yeah, see, there you go.
They take a lot more time with their movies. Yeah, maybe
it's not Hollywood. Yeah, I get it. I know there's a little bit of outside forces, just like, the ways of the trade, and people got to keep up. I get it. But I don't know, man. Yeah. It's all I can say is that I've been enjoying these a lot more than most shit I've seen here. And
now we have Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 to watch. So
yeah, I got Tiger 1, and they're fucking long, so get ready.
And we also have we have a couple of movies where people say it's the Marvel movies of India to watch. A lot of comments to go through. So
let's do it. I would love to see MCU Indian version.
Me too.
We'll get on it. I'm excited. I'm ready. Everything I've seen so far, excellent.
Well, I would still rewatch Thor. God, I'm so sorry. I would still rewatch War over Thor.
I would too.
It's fun. Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's really great. That music scene in the middle, man, when they're celebrating
with the colorful powder. They're just fun.
Not as good as Pathan's ending.
No, Pathan was definitely better.
Song was. I've been listening to it all week.
I listened to the one in the middle. I love the middle song. The one
I like the ending song.
I like both. I like both, but the middle one I think is better.
The end song to me is just like.
I like the dance in that one where they like. I want to watch. Dude, I want to watch Pathan. I seriously want to watch Pathan again. I've been thinking about it all week. I'm like, maybe I'll just watch it again.
Yeah, just go to the theater.
I might just watch it again. Yeah, I want to watch it.
Prime in April. So
fun, man. In April?
Yeah. It's kind of far.
Long. Yeah. I want to catch it in IMAX, but there's no theater here showing it in proper IMAX. Which
that doesn't surprise me.
I'm really fucking annoyed because they did shoot it with IMAX cameras, so I want to see it in IMAX. But
I can't imagine the studios that power the theater chains are saying that's okay, that you can use an IMAX theater to show Pathan.
I know.
That's how it works. Because when Star Wars, I'm sure Avatar, I'm sure Disney's saying, nope, guess what? We need to be on 6 screens or whatever. So.
Fuck. Yeah, see, I just looked it up for Pathan. There's nothing. Fuck. Yeah.
No.
Anyways, I'd love to see that movie.
So would I.
All right, man. Well, I think that's it for today.
Yes.
Enough reviews.
Last of Us, Pathan.
Yes, sir.
War.
Pathan War. And then next week, I'm sure we'll talk more Last of Us. Let's get on to Tiger and see what that's all about.
Yeah, maybe. And then we next week we have.
Oh, and
go ahead.
The big one. No, the big one. You're gonna say it. Go ahead.
I was actually gonna say we're gonna talk about all Super Bowl trailers And
oh yes, right.
And we'll have, hopefully, I don't know if it'll be allowed, our first reactions to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
By after no, embargo is up on the 14th.
Oh, then we will have our first reactions to.
That's the following week, isn't it?
That's Monday, but we don't release till Monday. Dummy.
True.
Cool.
All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one. Bye.